Right, underneath this car there is one rubber hose left to replace a rotten metal hose of the 3 that I needed to do. 2 have already done, 1 obviously remaining. I was a bit unsure what was going where, because if you cast your mind back to last time, I had a wide one which I thought was fuel delivery, a narrow one which I thought was fuel return, and a kind of semi-mystery one which is kind of like a pressure vent pipe as far as I could tell. So I'm going to have to get underneath there and try and work out exactly what goes where, because it all goes in a whole mystery meat pie behind the axle and the differential. You can't see what goes in where it comes out again. So I'm going to get underneath there with a light and lots of, just fiddling around trying to work out what's what. And down the front I've got my oil pressure gauge pipe to switch out because that's been cut and I've got the new one. So I'll see if I can do anything with that, and then maybe this car will start. It won't start. Right, before I try and sort out the last pipe in the back of the car, I'm quickly going to change this pipe here, because the moment this car physically wants to crank over, I'm going to want to start it. So I don't want to waste any time, once that moment comes, doing this. Well, this is neatly accessible. Spider webs there. Appears to be bigger on this car than it was on there. Well, let's hope it's the same thing. Well, the one from the broken car appears to be an 11.5mm, which is not helpful. The 11 won't go on at all. The 12 feels a fraction loose. And it's not turning at all in there. Excellent, that's really good. I'll try an imperial size one maybe. Crazy as it may sound, this brand seems to come up a bit smaller. But still, I'm just turning and damaging the thing. 7/16. Too small. 11 too small, so it's definitely a 12. But it ain't going no place. I'm going to go and fetch some WD-40. Might help, might not. Right, let's try and get the other end off this while that WD soaks in. Oh, okay. Okay, I have a new solution. I'm going to revisit my original idea of using fuel line tacked over the end, but this time with a better fitting fuel line. That pipe I bought, which is too small for the rear of the car, is a perfect fit here. So, all I need to do, wipe this clean of oil, trim this, I think it's 6mm pipe down. In fact, that's even too small for that, because only the inside bit will fit in this. So if I trim the outer edge off, one bit, so I now need, from this nice shiny new pipe, I need that much, but almost none in fact. So this 5.6mm hose should now slide gracefully on there. Oops, or not. Yeah. Nice snug fit there. That's super tight, and I'll clamp it with these. Oops. Oh no. How's that for a bodge well done? Now, until such time as I can work out how to get that end undone and that end out, that'll do fine to keep this oil inside the engine. Unless of course I've now, by pulling it, broken the inside of that and it's now going to fill the dashboard with oil. Who knows? Let's look forward to that later. Now, I also got this vacuum line, because that was in there and just kind of, didn't do anything. Going through these same cable ties, and there's dead end just there. So I think, I'll put the tripod on it. I think that must go into there, and the yellow thing goes on. This goes on into the yellow thing here. This is all real completely trial and error, because I've got no idea where these pipes are going to go, or even what they do for that matter. So this gives me a clue that this pipe comes from this area here. So what does that connect up to, I wonder? This comes to about here. So I wonder, if these two are meant to link together then. Again, I don't know where this is meant to go, but it does look like it. Oops, that was split. Yeah, missed that bit. This one that was on the car is split. This one that came with the new stuff seems okay. And this is the right length to go just here. I don't know if there should be another junction in here or not. But that was hanging loose. I'll put it under here just to keep it out of the way. It's very much trial and error. Emphasis on the error. I've been staring at these pipes for quite a while this morning, and I'm trying to work out what goes where, because basically it's a bit confusing. The only one I haven't replaced is this kind of vent pipe, pressure vent, and it goes behind this big cross member, and I was assuming I got it wrong and it came out, and I've connected one of the pipes incorrectly to the return line and the feed line. However, the only other pipe I haven't changed is this, which comes from the pump to the filter to this soft flexi hose for about 10 centimetres, and a hard line behind the differential, other side of the differential. And it seems when I wiggle it, that vent pipe moves as well, which is insane, because why would you have a pipe straight from the fuel pump to a vent on the floor? It wouldn't get you very far down the road, would it? So I'm going to assume I have done it wrong. I'm going to cut this off because it is damp with fuel still, and looks kind of rotten. So I'm going to cut that line off and see what I'm tugging on after I've cut the end off. It's basic, but it might just work. I'm going to have to turn the light out because I've only got one plug on the extension lead. So let's give this a bit of a tug. Let's see where it goes. Oh, what is attached? Yeah, this is attached to the vent pipe. This makes. Oops. Okay, that's. That's no longer attached to the vent pipe. This literally makes no sense at all. What's this even go to? It's wedged. There's rubber bungs to kind of, I don't know, cushion it, keep it steady. But that's kind of what's caused the corrosion in the first place. There's like a union in there. Oh god, there's tons of junk at the top of there. Every time I move I get a face full of crud still. Oh, okay, so that makes, this genuinely makes no sense, because the only petrol feed that's coming out of this fuel pump, sorry. The only petrol feed that's coming out of this fuel pump is going to an underfloor vent. I genuinely don't understand how or why that would be the case. I'm baffled. I might have to go and just ship this off to a mechanic and get it done. At least get the fuel lines done and the brake lines while they're there. Because this makes no sense. There is no other thing. The fuel line comes out the bottom of the tank here into the pump, where it comes back to the fuel filter. There's a bypass here into the accumulator, but then it goes here, which then truncated halfway down the floor. So I am completely at a loss. And the next time you see this car, it's going to be in the back of a low loader heading over to Trevor's garage, because I don't know what is going on. So replacing this like for like, I'm just going to run hose, oops, over the top of the axle, over the top of the differential again. I'm eating more. So, apart from eating a lot of rust and grip, I am now just trying to connect that pipe from the fuel pump to this hose which runs over the top of the... Fix old cars, they said. It'll be fun, they said. Ugh. I can't fix it and it's not fun. Every time I move, face full of grit. This is not nice. I can't figure out what the point of this is. It's not even a proper valve or anything, but I'm just going to cut the end off this and shove it in the other end just for the look of the thing. More for the scrap pile. Now this, don't think does anything apart from vent out into the mud below the car. Where's the other end of this thing? Okay, this is not well secured and it's in a completely dodgy place, but it's just for the sake of putting it kind of roughly where it was when it came out of the car. Oh, I've got more junk in my face! That's roughly where it was when it came off the car. Right, so going by process of elimination, that pipe there that I just cut off and put a rubber hose on can only be that because I cut the end off, wrenched it, and that's what come off my hand. So clearly that is that right pipe. The other two pipes are slightly different diameters, so they have to be correct, which means I must have a functioning fuel system now. There's no two ways about that. Whether I've got a functioning car or not is another matter entirely. But let's just crank the key and see what happens. I'll leave the GoPro underneath and see what you see. Battery is reconnected. I have the keys. Let's give it a crank and see what happens. So first up, the pump is primed. I can't see fuel dribbling from anywhere at the moment. Next question, is there lots of petrol anywhere? No, we appear to be fuel tight. We're not leaking fuel. Okay, this is actually quite a significant moment. Okay, the car didn't start, but significantly, I turned the key and no fuel fell on the floor. We're a tiny step closer. Tiny, tiny, tiny. I've just had a thought. I'm going to crack this pipe off here and just see if it looks like any fuel is coming through. Oh, it is, yeah. Definitely getting fresh petrol there now. Let's see if I can catch some of this if it comes out. No more coming out, is there? So, maybe the petrol doesn't like jalapenos, or, hang on, let's have a look at the fuel gauge again. Have I once again dropped all my fuel across the floor? Fuel gauge. So that's ignition off, ignition on. It clicks a tiny bit, I suppose. I'm guessing that's completely not empty, maybe-ish. I don't know. Is that just because it's getting power to the system? Is it actually empty? I think it might actually be empty. I'm going to go grab a gallon of petrol and dump it in there and see if it makes any difference at all. I don't think it will, but you know, we live in hope, right? Well, I just went and got some petrol for the Mercedes, and it's in the leakiest can possible. I thought it smelled pretty bad, but it's actually just been dribbling all over the back of the Mercedes. The other Mercedes, the new Mercedes. So, I didn't get any footage of cleaning up because I was cleaning up in a hurry because I didn't want the car to stink of petrol. Let's glug a couple of litres in the back of the W123 and see if that does anything. We've been here before with this situation. I won't put it all in because I've been using the Alpha a lot this week, and the fuel gauge is, you know, below quarter. It starts flashing the orange light quite frequently, so I'll put half this can in the Alpha because it will actually get used rather than just chucked across the pavement. Okay, there is now petrol in this car for definite. So this is our last try at cranking the motor before I go and trailer it to a garage who know what they're doing. So that's not squirting petrol, which means I've connected these pipes up wrong, but I don't understand how, because there's two separate sizes of them and one which I actually could see where it went to. So I don't understand why there's no fuel coming through now. Ah! Once again, this stupid car has been a disappointment, or I've been a disappointment to myself, or someone's disappointing someone, I don't know who, but it's just generally bad, and it doesn't run. So I guess I'm going to have to get this taken to a garage who knows what they're doing, because I've been sat on this for too long and it's just getting frustrating now. If I can get the thing to run and stop, if I get a garage to actually make it fire up, switch out those brake lines, I can trailer it back here, then I can weld it, I can sort the lights out, all the other MOT stuff, and then I'm like 2 steps away from a running, driving car then, and it's a project that's nearly done. I don't know what's wrong with it. The thing is, this car's been sat for so long, anything else could have broken, and I've got no means of testing what else that could be. I don't know, maybe the ignition parts that I bought are defective. I can't test that, just sparking in the wrong time. I don't know. Anyway, stay tuned, one day this will work.